Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M,
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well, it's Friday, and we got lots to do.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hey, Olin.
Hey.
How are you, buddy?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were a little late to the seats. Both of us, by the way.
I get here just after 7 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get busy doing things, and 8 o'clock kind of sneaks up on me.
Yeah. But good morning to you. We've got, I think the news broke in the 10 o'clock hour yesterday.
Broke like your finger?
Yeah. Those who play doctor at home, it's my ring finger, not my middle finger. Does that look broken to you? I don't know. You probably can't see it from there, but I hope not.
I've got all kinds of issues with fingers, so
yeah. Oh yeah, that looks broken.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't want to look at that.
So anyway,
but the news broke yesterday. The pitching staff going to look a little different this week in the rotation, at least. Ethan Darden going to get the start. Aiden Sims going to get the game 2, and that famous TBA, to be announced, game 3. We think more than likely Weston Moss.
Coach sees things that I don't see, but I can't imagine after the performance Weston Moss had last week that you're not going to start him.
Yeah. Now, if you have a chance to win game 2 of this, let's say you win game 1, and you got a chance game 2, and it's a tight game. It's 3-2 in the 6th inning. And you've already used Gavin Lyons. You want to use him again on Sunday, mate? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of scenarios here. Do you go to Weston Moss to ensure the victory? Or do you say, nah? I guess that's the question that he'll have. Hopefully he gets an opportunity to answer.
Right. Again, I don't know what's the thinking of Michael Early in that kind of situation. He knows a lot more than me. I'm just based on the fact that I saw a guy a few days ago pitch a no-hitter through, 6 innings?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to change anything with him.
Yeah. I had a friend text me, like, why don't we just move Aiden Sims to Friday? I understand the why, I understand both scenarios. I'm going to tell you what I like about it.
Okay.
I like keeping him in that spot, even though I liked him on the Sunday spot, right? I've already said that before. Right. But I like to keep that consistency. I like to see our best pitcher with a chance to either even the series or win the series, right? And so far, Aiden's, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have him on Friday. I don't think there's a bad idea out there. I like keeping Shane Sadeo possibly on Friday out of the pen, maybe in the 3rd or 4th inning, or hopefully in the 4th or 5th inning, coming in a little bit later, right? Because who was it? I know Bronny talked about it. It was Chris Cortez a couple years ago that did so much better coming in later as opposed to thinking about his start and then, for 6-7 days thinking about it and then coming in and starting. I just like with whatever limited depth and staff that you have, this is an option that could work.
Yeah, it could. But I would, if you tell me that you think Aiden Sims should start on Friday, I say, I get it. I absolutely get it. He's been your most consistent player. And, put him down on Friday. He eats innings typically. So you have a better chance to maybe save your bullpen, or at least it's not as taxed. But the guy has been so good first on Sunday and then on Saturday that maybe I just want to keep him on Saturday because I don't want to upset that proverbial apple cart. I don't think there's I guess what I'm saying is, with Aiden Sims, I don't think there's a wrong answer. But I do think it's interesting. I'm not the coach, don't know as much as a coach. I'm saying it. To me, it would seem like the way to go would be, now, again, we got to think about how much time in between starts. So my first reaction is move Weston Moss to Friday after the week. But then he's probably used to resting for, full 6 days. And does that kind of throw a wrench into things? So, look, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to root for Ethan Darden to go out there and
he started games
and throw a great game.
He started games for Clemson.
And
He's done that before.
And if he gets in trouble at any point, I hope Shane Tadeo comes in and pitches so well that we're saying, hey, okay, we overreacted. We reacted too fast. I just want to see good pitching.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I find the Friday game so important. We've seen this team lose a Friday and win series, but I find if you can get started off on the right foot, again, Aiden Sims you can count on. I think there's still 3 equal games, regardless of how you look at it. But if you can get that Friday game, considering how the depth of this staff, I think it just puts you in a very good position to win this series because you do feel great with Aiden Sims. And oh, by the way, recently you felt really good with Weston Moss.
Yeah.
But remember, he had some struggles too, which is why he was moved to Sunday.
Right. So, but and you never know until you know. But is Weston Moss hitting a stride, or did he have a good game? Right. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you start having success or great success toward the end of the year, whereas toward the end of the year you're starting to struggle, is the guy struggling? Is he running out of gas? Is the guy doing well? Is he hitting his stride? Because we see it a lot of times in football and other sports. You just get better as the season goes along, or you decline.
Remember yesterday where you were talking about? I think it was yesterday. Like, why get mad when you went to Baton Rouge? You get there's nothing I can do about it, right? I kind of look at this pitching stuff the same way. Like, I'm not going to overreact. This is who they have. This is who they've been all season long. So let's make the most out of what you have right now. And by the way, this pitching staff is, while not being elite in the way we've seen LSU pitchers in the years past, they have been good enough to get you in contention for the SEC title.
Yeah, they have. They've been good enough. But the reason they've been good enough is because one of the reasons they've been good enough is because you've got a batting order that can score 9 runs, on the regular.
But the other reason is the pitching staff, back to what I said a second ago, has been good enough at times. If Sadeo can be good enough, if Darden can be good enough, if Aiden Sims can be Aiden Sims, if Weston Moss can give you what you've had for, I don't want to say for the most part, but what we've seen since he's moved to the back end of the bullpen, I like our chances against almost any team.
Yeah, I mean, if what was the stat they had earlier in the year? I know the second game against Auburn, messed that up, but there was something like if they'd be undefeated if the pitching staff gives up something like 6 runs or less.
It was like 8 runs. If they gave up more than 8, they had lost. But if they had given up less than 8 runs, they were undefeated at a certain point. I don't know if that's still true.
Like they lost to Auburn 5-4, so that wouldn't.
Yep.
But so
they also gave up 16 and 1.
Yeah, but see, that goes to the point that if 8 runs or less, so maybe you approach it thinking maybe if Ethan Darden can give me 3 solid innings, then I can go to Sadeo or somebody else and get 3 solid innings. And
then you get 1 inning, then you get 2, right? Like Gavin comes in for 1, Gavin Lyons, and then you finish it out with Clayton.
Right. Whatever it takes to win.
Yeah. But here, this is what I do, and I'm sure people at home do this. I don't know if the baseball bunch guys do this. I'm just constantly doing a math problem. What do they need to do to become a national seed? And I look at that mythical number that's out there. 17 is a maybe. 18, you're probably there. So I do the math in my head. and they have 15 conference wins. Can they get 3 more conference wins?
Yes.
Then that's what I
They
mean.
might get them this weekend.
If you get it this weekend, are you a lock? I don't know. I don't know those people. So
I don't know, because you got to. I have to admit, I'm paying attention to SEC baseball. I don't know what's going on in the ACC and.
But if you win 2 in each series, you win both series. I think then you're a lock.
I think if you win both series, you'll be a top 8.
Yeah, regardless of what you do in Hoover.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah, now,
that should be the case.
But like you, I'm not really paying attention to what's happening in the Big Ten, the Big West, the Big Cha-Cha. I don't care. I do care when we get to the regionals and who's coming and whatnot. But like right now, I am solely focused on what does A&M have to do. And I'm just happy that it is May the 8th, 2026, and we're having a conversation about A&M potentially being a national seed. A team that was predicted to finish 13th in the conference.
Yeah. It's been a fun season, and we obviously all want it to continue, and I think it will. I think they're going to win this series against Ole Miss, and I think they're going to win the series next week against Mississippi State.
Yeah, let's get it done. All right, Obi, let's tell the people. I was going to talk about something else, but let's tell the people the show they're listening to. They need to know.
This is TexAgs Live.
You sure about that?
Yeah,
okay.
TexAgs Live.
But
it's brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelry.
Okay, that was the part I wasn't sure you knew. Okay. The Rollo Insurance Studio, though?
Yeah, right here. Jason, Jackson, Keith, Morgan, all the rest.
Let's label the show an hour. If we just took out an hour, we gave it a name, we'd call it the what?
We call it the Go Hour.
Presented by the who?
By the Warehouse CC Creations.
And we're currently sitting where?
In the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
About, 14 minutes ago, Obi was wearing shorts, but he's like, not when we go to the Holistic Planning Cool Zone, we like to go formal.
No shorts in the cool zone, because seeing my legs are definitely not cool.
Well, at least they're not very, like old man veiny. If we don't get that, it's good.
Extremely white.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, actually, it's like red to here and then extremely white.
I know.
Because I was at the baseball game last week. You got a lot of sitting there watching the game in the heat, in the sunshine.
Yeah. I thought maybe you were just cutting the yard with shorts and no shirt on, just showing the world the guns.
If I was going with no shirt on, first of all, then I'd be brown or probably lobster red all over. But I would have a lot of angry neighbors, or disgusted neighbors.
When you do your morning walk, you ever shirtless?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
It's like a second moon out there.
No, I never. Yeah.
All right.
Second moon. That's fun.
If you want to call the show, you can do it multiple ways. You can call us on the Puppies Catering and
Bartending
hotline 979-693-1150, or you can text us on the Catalyst Pure Performance
Energy
text line 979-693-1150. We go around the room. We go left to right. We go behind the glass. We say hi to the director, Nick Savage. Nick, good morning, buddy.
Howdy, good morning, y'all.
Hey.
Well, I'm working on a graphic. Sorry, I don't have it ready as we were talking about it. But you're going through the conferences and where they stack up in terms of national seeding. UCLA in the latest D1 projections, they're the number 1 overall seed out of the Big Ten. By my count, there are 2 Big Ten teams, plenty of SEC teams. Georgia Tech is the highest ranked ACC team. They're going to be in these projections, the number 2 overall seed. But Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Florida State, all in there as well. And a few group of 5, Southern Miss, Coastal Carolina, pretty good baseball programs. They are projected to get some national seeds, as well as Kansas, the highest ranked out of the Big 12. So kind of all over the place in terms of national seeds. But the Aggies currently number 8 in that latest projection.
So that seems like a lot of competition for 8 spots, because you're talking about at least 3 from the ACC, the other conferences as well, 2 from the Big Ten. How many are the SEC projected to get? 4?
Let me count them up real quick.
It'll be Georgia, A&M, Texas, and maybe Auburn?
7.
Yeah.
7 national seeds.
From the SEC?
Yep. It would be Georgia, Texas, Auburn, A&M, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi State.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Good times. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. It has been 5 months since Sydney Clevenger sat in that chair to do that kind of hit, and she's back.
I'm back.
In case you missed it, she's back. Hello, Sydney.
Yes, hello. I can't believe it's been 5 months.
But you were just here like 2 days ago. Just on the other chair.
I was.
So what's going on, NGS?
Super exciting stuff in baseball, as we've been talking about. But at the plate, A&M leads the SEC in 188 runs, a .393 on-base percentage, a .523 slugging percentage, and 138 walks. And then Gavin Grahovic has also had a hot bat. He leads the SEC in a .792 slugging percentage, 34 runs scored, 36 RBI, and 11 home runs. And then according to the initial availability report, Nico Partita will be out to start this weekend's series at Ole Miss after pulling his hamstring last Saturday versus Auburn.
It was a hamstring.
Yeah.
He was doing the splits.
Yeah,
literally.
I saw it. I saw the game.
Everybody thought it might have been the groin, but it was the hamstring.
I thought it was a groin injury. I know you have no idea.
No clue. I was going to pretend like I knew. What was it?
It was Cheers. Episode of Cheers.
You know, I didn't like Cheers.
Okay.
I wish I did.
I did, but okay.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
To each his own.
But has Cheers stayed true over the test of time? Like, I think Friends has fallen out of favor by people.
Here's the thing. Here we go. Here's the thing about Cheers. Yeah, I think people still like it, but here's what made Cheers different from every show.
Okay.
When they lost a primary character, the show got better. They lost Coach.
Yeah.
They brought on Woody.
Yeah.
And it got better. They lost Diane. They brought on Rebecca. The show got better.
This is a good point.
Yeah.
Sam Malone. What other show can say that?
That they got better when they lost somebody?
Yeah, like Valerie lost Valerie, and it became the Hogan family. Wasn't as good. Roseanne lost Roseanne. I don't know if it was good or bad because I didn't watch.
I don't know Valerie, but yeah, the Roseanne show, yeah, you can't make it without Roseanne.
What other show lost like a main character that...
now, you know,
Bewitched! Well, they changed the husband.
Yeah, it was the same character.
Yeah.
It was just a different guy. It's kind of like, I don't know, like I guess a lot of families, you know, the wife gets divorced.
She upgrades.
Remarries and brings in somebody else.
Brings in a stud.
But they typically don't have the same name.
Right. Do you have any idea what we're talking about?
I have no clue.
Yeah, that's okay.
Zero
Have you ever watched the show that lost the main character?
Not a main character, no.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Like a beloved character?
I don't think so.
Have you ever watched the show?
I have.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes.
Favorite show of all time?
I think Stranger Things.
Okay. They lost people.
Fan. Yeah, people died in that show, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to lose them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Stranger Things. They could come back.
They could.
What else? Let's do one more story.
Just to switch it up a little bit, a tweet according to On3, the NCAA has voted to expand March Madness to 76 teams, and the Comets are not happy about it.
I care. I don't care. Nuñoism. I care, but whatever. Like, I'm still gonna watch. It's not gonna change anything. Did we? I'm trying to think. We watched a little bit of the Dayton game, so we did. We were traveling that day, right? I feel like we were traveling.
Yes.
For the play-in games.
Yeah, I think I remember watching Texas to root against them.
Yeah.
Which is odd because I always say, I grew up as a big Texas fan, but I have to admit I was rooting against them. So I guess you're going to have, instead of, what is it now, 2 play-in games, you're going to have...
I think there's 12 now.
So 12 playing games?
It's a lot more playing games.
Or 6, but I don't know how many it is. Anyway, a lot of playing games. So
12
those teams that
12 playing games, that can't be right? Because that would be 24 teams.
Right. So it's got to be. So they went from 68 to 76. So,
yeah, we're doing math.
So there's going to be 6. There's going to be 6 more.
Yeah.
12 teams.
Let's just not do the math.
12 teams above 64. 6 playing games.
Yeah. Hey, can I tell you something?
Yeah, tell me.
July 25th. Are you familiar with the preseason kickoff that we put together every year?
Yes, I am familiar.
We're doing it. And now you can register as a premium subscriber. Go to TexAgs.com, go to the premium section. The 16th annual TexAgs preseason kickoff, our subscriber-only charity event and community gathering, will feature Texas A&M head coach Mike Elko. The kickoff will be held at MSE's Betancourt Ballroom on July the 25th. I do know that Michael Early will be there. I do know that Bucky will be there. We're working on the other coaches as well. There'll be some cool things that we're having, as every year. We always have some new things that we add to it. So,
well, it's about time you gave some of the other coaches some recognition.
We've been doing it. We've been doing it the last couple of years.
I thought a coach here once said.
Oh, that's right. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, Buzz tried to call us out.
Yeah, even though you already, yeah.
I remember somebody reading out a stat from his website, and he disagreed with it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's take him to the 1775 and talk suits, shall we?
No, I would never take him to say he doesn't deserve it.
No, come on.
No, that's the one line I draw. He doesn't deserve it. You know, I'll tell you how good 1775 is. So I have a friend that lets me use his season tickets to go to baseball.
Yep.
And I told him, I said, look, this is a true story. I said, his name's Jack.
Yep.
I said, look, Jack, you've been so generous with me, allowing me to come watch these games for the last 3 or 4 years. When I get back from Baton Rouge, because I'm going to Baton Rouge next week for graduation, I said, when I get back from Baton Rouge, let's make a plan. I want to take you out for dinner, steak dinner. He said, well, that sounds great, but I'd rather go out to the 1775 barbecue. I've never been there. I'd rather do that. I said,
easy.
That can be done. So, it's so good that steak dinner, 1775 barbecue, 6, 7 steak dinners. And I said, he goes, I'm going to go with 1775 barbecue. And I said, you know what? Good choice. Great choice. Because only at there you're going to get that succulent brisket and those amazing pork ribs or that jalapeno cheese sausage. And you can get macaroni and cheese anywhere. But you know what? There's only one place where you get that queso mac and cheese.
That's 1775.
That's it.
Can I pause on the live spot? We'll finish it here in a second. Can I make an observation about how you do your 6-7?
6-7.
It's very AI-ish. It's very high and like a lot of movement going on. It's not like
Allen Iverson. Wouldn't it be like that? It'd be dribbling.
Yeah, but it's almost like a GIF. Like you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's an aggressive. It's like a Taken. Liam Neeson.
What would you get? Would you get the succulent brisket or the amazing pork?
See, it's like a karate chop when you do it, but backwards. It's an up and down karate chop.
Would you get the queso or the mac and the cheese?
I just went a little closer. Just a couple. All right, anyways.
I do things in a big way.
1775TXBBQ.com is the website. You can call them up, 979-492-6241 at 1775.
Is it good or is it great?
Que rico. Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it.
What's up, Ags? Marcel Reed here, and you're listening to the Go Hour with Nuño and OB on TexAgs Live.
Thank you, Marcel. Appreciate you. We love watching you play quarterback. It's TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. OB, we were wrong, so I'm sure we're going to hear it later. Nick, he was right. There are 12 play-in games.
Yeah, here's the bracket.
Okay.
They're just redone the way they do the tournament.
There's 6 at-large play-in games, and there's 6 automatic qualifier play-in games. So the automatic qualifier games are, looks like 2 15 versus 15 seeds, and then 4 16 versus 16 seeds. The at-large games, there's 2 11 versus 11, 4 12 versus 12.
All right, look, if I was good with numbers, I'd be an accountant.
Yeah.
So
it's okay, OB. I'm not great at math either, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I could count to 12. I'm pretty sure I counted that right.
And Sidney Clevenger told me something at the break that has piqued my interest. Nick, you should listen up.
Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so there's 64 teams in the main tournament, right? And that won't play till Thursday.
Are we
and
about to
Friday.
do math on the air?
There's 64, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So now they're going to expand to 76 teams.
There's 12 more teams.
So that's 12 more teams. If you have 12 teams, 2 have to play each other. Am I correct? 12 teams to play. That's 6 games.
I don't want to do the math. I just don't. Not on the air. I just can't.
I don't know. Everywhere, maybe in White Oak, that's 6 games.
Yeah. Somebody smarter than us. Nick, you want to explain it to OB? Because
I mean, the brackets are, I can't, but the bracket's right.
I can't see the bracket. It's so small from here.
Is 76 minus 64. Somebody get a calculator.
That's 12.
That's 12.
I can do that math.
All right. 2 teams playing a game.
Yeah.
So
that's 6.
So 12 divided by 2 is 6. My White Oak brain can't get around.
We have a text trying to explain it if you want me to read
Yes.
that.
Clevenger, please do.
Steve in College Station
Steve.
says you have to play 12 play-in games to eliminate 12 teams and go from 76 teams to 64 teams. 24 teams total participate in play-in games. That's what Steve said.
Okay, so what they're doing is some of the teams that would normally not have to play till Thursday and
Friday
are
now going to play early.
Now going to have to play early. Okay, well, they didn't tell me that part.
Well, I am just going to pretend like I understood.
Yeah, I don't think they should do it that way, but they didn't ask.
This is the part that is hot sports radio
All right,
talk.
hot
Ready?
sports.
Sid, what did you say? Somebody texted the show, or was it a YouTube chat? What was it?
We got a text saying, let Nuño know Trump has dropped the UFO files.
Nick, it's here. Been talking about it all week. The only guy in sports radio history to do multiple days on UFOs. I may have lost all of our listeners, but I've gained new ones. As OB would, up and down. All right?
I'll try to give you my best. I'll dig through it and see if I find anything.
She said that they're coming. Not that they're here. They're coming. Is that what somebody told you?
No, I was asking you.
Oh, you're asking me.
You're the expert.
I wouldn't say I'm an expert.
All right, so I've always thought the greatest marketing missed opportunity in college football is at the University of Central Florida. You know where the University of Central Florida is located?
Orlando.
I would call them the University of Florida at Orlando.
UF.
UFO. Change my name
I like where you're
to
going.
the aliens. Only where my colors change it to just black and white, and then always, and they would be the UFO aliens, and you could call them the Men in Black.
The coaches would be the Men in Black.
You know, all the players in their uniform, they're the Men in Black.
Just for the record, you know the Men in Black is a true story.
Johnny Cash?
No, the actual, like, they erase your mind. There's videos about this.
I think they've done it to me.
Well played. Well played. Let's hit a break and actually talk college football the other side. All right.
There's never a bad time.
Central Florida aliens versus
the UFO University of Florida Orlando UFO.
Oh, the UFO. Sorry. We'll do that on the other side. Maybe I can take a vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet to go watch the UFOs play. They are on Highway 21 in Caldwell and online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. Chevrolet.com. If you're in the market for your next vehicle, you owe it to yourself to check out the great selection at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. They're stocked up and always ready to make deals on their family vehicles, the SUVs, the cars, you name it. They're locally owned. They have an Aggie alumni team, and they know how to take care of their customers. Stop settling for big city prices and high-pressure tactics. Come see the difference a hometown dealer can make for you and your family. The lot is full. The team is ready to deal, and they're ready for your business. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the good people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell. Online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst.
Makes me want to get into my battle mode.
When are you not in your battle mode?
I'm very kind. When was the last time I picked a fight?
I never said you weren't kind. I've just said, when are you not in battle
Yeah,
mode?
that's a good point. I'm upset with a particular media entity.
Okay, which one?
I don't know if I'm going to call them out on air.
All right.
But
what are you
I
upset
don't,
about?
I don't like when people take other people's work.
Oh, yeah.
All right, there's a company that does what we do, took a picture that we took,
Yeah.
and used it as their own, didn't credit TexAgs.
Yeah.
I think that is horse manure.
It is. It is.
I and others have tweeted at Homeboy. No response, no nothing. It is embarrassing to use basically a competitor's image. I think it is classless, it is embarrassing, and it shows that you are desperate for any kind of relevance in your industry when you have to do that. When you can't get it your damn self.
Yeah. I wonder if.
No apology, no, oh, my bad, dude. I thought
All you got to do is courtesy.
Yeah. Hey, a shout out, but so it's you're not a legit media member if you have to do that. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
Now, sometimes accidents happen. Oh, my bad, dude. This was a file that my intern found. Okay, well, then apologize. Then, hey, credit to so-and-so for this.
That's all it takes.
That bugs me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got a little worked up.
No, it's. There was a guy that used to. He was a well-known media guy that used to react to other people's articles
Mm-hmm.
and then try to pass it off like he was breaking the news.
Oh.
Because he was national.
Yeah.
So he would never refer to the guy who actually broke on the local level.
Right.
He'd never credit him. And he finally got called out, and it was funny because I'm even going to say, I'm not going to say the name of the guy who did it, but the guy finally.
Would I know him?
Yeah, Brent Zerneman was, when he was covering the Aggies, a couple times had on more than a couple occasions had an article out, and then somebody else, this other guy, would take that and repackage it as a national story. Would never credit it. They've done the same thing with Billy. He'll have something out. And
happens often with Billy. Yeah.
Yeah, and just acknowledge. All you got to do is say first reported by.
Yep.
It's that easy.
Or photo credit to TexAgs.
Yeah.
Simple. Or just don't do a picture. Or, I don't know, use the picture on his Twitter profile. It ain't that hard, guys. Stealing other people's work is embarrassing. And you should be embarrassed. And I hope it gets back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to fight anybody. I'm just being nice. I'm just public service announcement.
Yeah.
I got a broken finger now, so I can't.
That is pretty heinous.
All right.
Gnarly.
Huh?
Gnarly.
It's spelled with a G.
Yeah, it is.
College football coaches that have made the playoffs or have gotten close.
Okay.
That are trending. I don't say they have to make the college football playoffs, but have gotten close or have made the college football playoffs and are trending in the wrong direction.
Mm.
I came up with a couple or more than a couple, about 5 names to throw out at you. The first one is the easiest one, lowest hanging fruit. Dabo Swinney.
Yeah.
I'm a Dabo guy. I haven't listened to his interview with Josh. I know Josh Pate interviewed him this week for an hour. I'd like to go listen to that. I like Dabo. I might be in the minority there. I like what he's about. I wouldn't want him to be my head coach because he's trending in the wrong direction, right? He's not evolving with the game. And they're not winning as much. But I think Dabo would easily be the top name on the list.
Yeah. That's the first guy that comes to my mind. Who else is on that list? Is James Franklin on it?
I have James Franklin on him, but the note I put next to his name is new life, new program. Right? So it almost gives you, he's not going to get fired this year, right? Because he just took a job. That would be terrible, right? He
got fired last year.
He got fired last year, which is hence why he's at Virginia Tech. If not, he would probably stay at Penn State.
But it is an example of the guy you could say has been
trending in the wrong direction. He might now go to Vol Tech and have a resurrection, right? But I would say his career feels like it's trending in the wrong direction. Another name for you. I'm not ready to go all in on this one, but I do think Josh Heupel is under consideration.
Yeah, I can
Made
see
the playoffs 2 years ago, got embarrassed in the playoffs.
They did lose to the national champion.
They did. They did. They don't make the playoffs last year. I don't think he's fully on the list, but I think he's under the cloud of we need to monitor what happens this year.
It's time for him to, they've had a couple of not bad, but mediocre type years. So it's time to.
Well, 2 years ago, they made the playoffs.
Okay, so last year he had a
just
mediocre
one.
year.
Yeah. And look, he is.
And this year he's going to have a mediocre year.
To balance it out and defend him a little bit, he lost his quarterback mid-season or mid-spring last year, right? When Nico left.
Yeah.
I think I don't care who you are, you're going to take a step back when you lose your starting quarterback. Regardless of what we thought about Nico, he was their starting guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they didn't
upgrade,
but to your point, yes.
Right. And this year they're also in an interesting situation at quarterback. So I don't think he's on there, but I can see why people would put him on there.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley. They won 9 games last year.
Uh-huh.
They feel like they're close to the playoffs. But I still feel like the arrow does not feel like it's pointing up with him.
I agree. I just always thought he was way overhyped. When he was at Oklahoma, he's going to recruit better than everybody else, with the exception of Texas in the Big 12. So every game he played, he was going to have superior athletes. And so you're going to win as long as you're just not a complete incompetent oaf as your coach. And then at USC, when they're in the Pac-12, it was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And yet they never won to the degree that you would expect them to.
I'm going to give it another couple names. These 2 guys have not made the playoffs. One of them I feel like should have made the playoffs. The first one, Mike Norvell.
Oh, I think he's definitely trending down.
Right. He should have made the playoffs 2 years ago.
Well, he should have been in the national championship game, in that playoff. He should have been. I believe that.
I understand why he wasn't, but.
Well, I don't. Well, I understand what they were trying to say. Hey, you lost your starting quarterback. But what they conveniently left out was, but you just beat a ranked opponent, Louisville, in your conference championship game without that quarterback. And my take has always been, it's a team game. If your quarterback is, I know it's important, but if it makes that big a difference, then why was USC with the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback? Why was that team not great? So, yes, Mike Norvell should have been in the playoff, but he's had one great year in 4 or 5.
And the last name I'm going to give you has not made the playoffs, but Shane Beamer, I believe, has these years where it feels like it's pointing up and then it feels like it's pointing down. And I don't know if that's a trajectory that you can maintain. If they don't win 9 games, I'm going to say 9. I don't know where I came up with that number this year. I don't know if he's around next year.
I agree. I mean, he did say, we all heard it, that they're going to be in the playoff this year.
Yep.
Now, maybe he knows that he has to be there this year or he's going to get fired. So he has nothing to lose by saying that, right? He's, hey, we're going to be in the playoff. Okay, you better be, because if you're not, you're out.
If they're 9-3 and they don't make the playoffs, I don't think he loses his job. You think he does?
I mean, he shouldn't. It's South Carolina.
Yeah. And I don't even know if 8-4. You got Lenore's for another year, right? Like, you better be better than 8-4.
I think if you go 9-3 or 8-4, that's good. That should be good enough for him to maintain his job. But that puts him in the situation that the following year you better be just as good.
If they go 7-5,
7-5. I've seen a lot of coaches get fired at 7-5.
Yeah. We'll hit a break. We'll do bank on it on the other side. Right now, we're talking Rollo Insurance. They build lasting relationships through education, helping you understand what you're buying and the why behind it with expertise in everything from home to auto to business and specialty coverage. Their independent agents provide options tailored to your specific need. You get a personal agent, a direct number, not a call center, not an automated system, and they are the official insurance provider of this show, TexAgs Live. The difference is real. 60 offices in the great state of Texas. Their headquarters right here in College Station on Highway 6. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That's rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. Or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. We're back here on TexAgs Live. Captain Rhett Butler on the YouTube page asked, why is Nuño's polo in the Catalyst commercial red? I believe that's the TexAgs polo that we were all given that maybe there were a defect, that it was a little bit more crimson than maroon.
Okay.
That every time I wear it, and I wear it sometimes, I don't wear it often, but when I wear it, people do comment on it.
Those reds.
Wasn't
the original color of A&M red? And then I think this is the way I read it in one of those historical things, and the uniforms that were delivered one time were maroon, so they just went to maroon.
I have to ask the great Sue Owens that question. I'm not sure.
I think there might be something to that.
Did
you know there's once a quarterback here named Rhett Butler Darnell?
I did not know that.
He was from DeKalb, Texas, and he might have transferred because he wasn't playing, and then he tragically passed away in a motorcycle accident. But Rhett Butler Darnell, I bet somebody remembers him.
Bank on It, presented by Vera Bank. Honest questions, genuine advice. Go see Joe Jackson and the team. Learn more at verabank.com. OB, what are you banking on?
You know, I feel like taking a chance. So I'm going to bank on Ethan Darden.
God bless.
Is that what you were going to do?
Yes.
Well, then we're all banking on it.
Okay, but you get the bank on. You drafted him. That's yours.
I'm going to bank on Ethan Darden to come in and throw a strong 5 innings time.
5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Strong 5.
I'm banking on Shea Sadeo coming in, taking the baton at inning number 4, and giving us 3 to 4 strong innings.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, should I go lowest hanging fruit and say Gavin Grahovic hits a home run this weekend or two?
Seems like you just expect Gavin to hit home runs now.
Yeah. So
it's not a game unless he hit a home run.
So yeah.
Hey, do we know if Hakopian's going to be able to play in the field?
I don't know what the latest is on Chris Hakopian. I don't know if Sid can look it up, but I mean, the fact that he was able to hit last weekend, I think we'll see him out there.
He's not on the availability report at all. So
right, but he can play DH, which he's been doing. But I'd like to see him back out there at second base if they can.
I would too. Sid, let's get into some text messages or whatever notes you have for us here this segment at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center.
Yeah, let me get into some women's tennis. They've been doing very well. Number 3, Texas A&M Aggie women's tennis is back in the NCAA Super Regionals for the 7th straight season and will host number 13 USC today at 2 p.m. The Ags have now won 84 of their 85 last matches at home. SEC Player of the Year, Luciana Perez, continues to lead the way for the Maroon and White, going a perfect 25-0 in dual matches and 13-0 in SEC play. With the win today, the Aggies would secure their 5th consecutive ticket to the NCAA quarterfinals. The Trojans are 21-6 on the season and 21-1 in the Big Ten, and the all-time series between A&M and the Trojans is tied at 2-2, and tonight marks the first time they play in College Station.
So go ahead.
2-2.
Mm-hmm.
So this that'd be the rubber
Tiebreaker.
match.
Yeah.
Would it not be?
Okay, it's good you didn't hear it.
2-2?
Yeah, it would be the rubber match.
Yeah.
But why did you smile when you said it?
Because I think the Aggies will beat them. I think they'll beat the Trojans in the rubber match.
No comments about, never mind, covering?
Well, I would cover it if they asked me to, but they didn't ask me to cover it.
I was going to say
do you
something.
think the Aggies will win?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
She just said they have this 84 out of 85.
Yeah. What I was going to say is Coach Weaver was here, and he says, this is a tough matchup. This is a really, really tough matchup for A&M.
Absolutely.
But the 84 out of 85 playing at home, I think that's hopefully a recipe for continued success. Let's get them back to the Final 8 and then the Final 4, and we move on. Let's get one more story in.
Yeah. Then women's golf. Vanessa Borovillos keeps adding to a very impressive season after being named the WGCA Player of the Year watch list on Thursday. She's currently ranked number 11 in scoreboard rankings and number 21 in the World Amateur Golf ranking. She finished runner-up in her last 2 tournaments at the SEC Championship and Memorial Invitational, and also picked up a win earlier this season at the Moon Golf Invitational, and she's actually the record holder for the lowest round in U.S. women's amateur history after shooting a crazy 9 under 63 last year.
Great job, Sid. Thank you very much. All right, we'll hit a break here. OB, what do you got planned for the weekend?
Probably watching a lot of Texas A&M baseball on TV.
Yeah, I'll be watching a lot of A&M
and
baseball.
then whatever the wife tells me to do.
Well, it's Mother's Day, right?
I'll take her out wherever she wants to go. We'll take her out to dinner. I got to go buy a present.
I got to do the
It's
same
not
thing.
like I don't wait to the last minute all the time.
I don't know what I need to get.
Irma's already told me what to get her. So
Yeah, I need to figure that out. If anybody's got a suggestion for me, let me know. All right, we'll hit a break here. Thank you, OB. When we come back, the baseball bunch here on TexAgs Live. And we are back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is time for the baseball bunch. I've got in studio Richard Zane, Ryan Brauninger, and on the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, we've got Scott Clendenin. Gentlemen, how are you? How's everybody?
Good morning. Good morning.
Scotty, thanks for joining us.
Good morning to you.
Yep. So, obviously, I want to get into the rotation and deep into the rotation, but let's just kind of start off with where we are right now. 30, what?
Nothing.
No.
Please continue.
I actually don't get the joke, but okay. 36-10. 5 of 8 SEC series wins and a national seed contender. State of the Union, Bronny, start us off of where they are after the Auburn series and the PV win.
I think if you'd have looked at this season, and I'd have told you in February they're going to be 36-10 at this juncture of the season and playing for a national seed, every Aggie baseball fan, player, coach, I think they would have ripped your arm off to take that deal. And so you have to look at it through the macro, and then the micro is there's still questions to be had about this team, and specifically on the pitcher's mound. I know you said we're going to get into that, but yeah, really pleased. I think for me right now, I just most pleased in the turnaround and the stabilization of the program. I talked a lot about it on the broadcast with Andrew Monaco on Tuesday night against Prairie View, but I think a lot of praise, even more than we've given, needs to be heaped at the feet of Gavin Grahovic and Caden Sorrell. When you look at what they've meant for this team, but also this program going forward, to reestablish itself in the national spotlight, Aggie baseball has been the second most popular sport on campus for a long time, but I do think starting in 2022, it elevated to another level. And I'm hoping that Bucky McMillan and Aggie basketball can close that gap. But right now, there is a significant gap between Aggie baseball and the third and fourth sports on campus. And so it just felt like with their moment in the spotlight and what happened in 2025, you just kind of needed some stabilization to reground the program and give it another launching off point going forward and to regenerate the popularity that 2024 and the eyeballs that 2024 had gotten on this program. And I think that Coach Early and the leadership of this team have not only done it for this baseball season, but now Coach Early feels like I can establish my program going forward.
To Bronny's point, it's been player-led, but it's coach-fed. And I think if the season were to end today, Michael Early's probably the SEC Coach of the Year, and that's a heck of a 180-degree turnaround from where we were at this point last year. But the job's not finished, right, as Kobe Bryant would say, and they've still got 2 very, very important series left to play against 2 very, very good teams. But they have shown you week in and week out in this league that they're capable of playing with everybody. Now, they've got to win over Georgia. They swept Texas. They went into the box and swept LSU. They took a road series from a ranked Florida team. They took a game from Auburn when they had to have it. So they have given you reasons to be optimistic and trust in that leadership, starting with Grahovic and Sorrell, because when Grahovic gets in that batter's box to begin a game, you can kind of feel it and see it that he's going to do whatever it takes to will his ball club to a win, and the team's following suit.
Scott?
Well, I think that one of the things about this year's team is it's not like everything has gone easy for them. If you had a year where your starting 9 and your 3 pitchers went out each and every week, played every game, maybe a little bit different. But this team has had to deal with some adversity, similar but not as encompassing as what the Aggies went through last year. You couldn't talk about it last year, but Mississippi State, LSU was in a position not to make the tournament the year after they all won national championships. LSU is in a position this year where they might not make the tournament after winning a national championship. In the SEC, it is so unforgiving that if you get behind the 8 ball and you struggle, it's trying to swim up, Niagara Falls. Basically, that's what it is. And this team put that all behind them. They had this year just be this year. And you had great leadership and 2 guys that were not in the lineup ever last year said, we're going to be the leaders. We're going to do it at the top of the lineup. And we're going to help this team go back to the level that they expected when they were high school players committed to A&M, when they were on the campus for A&M, and how they want to leave their legacy at A&M. And this group has come together, and with 2 weeks ago, they put themselves in a position where all of that can be in front of them again. And the best thing is they know how important 2 weekends against the Mississippi schools are, and they know that they have to be ready to play at the highest level to get a top 8 national seed and have an opportunity then to host a super regional. And everyone knows that is the key to going, playing the final weekends of the season is to, make that part of your journey, the short term, the game to game in the SEC, be your legacy. And I think this team has done it, and they're continuing to do it. And like I said, it hadn't all been wine and roses. They've had to endure some stuff with injuries, and they've been able to come through and put themselves in a great position with 2 weeks left in the regular season.
Richard, let's start with you with the rotation shakeup. We can take it in parts. But first off, Ethan Darden getting the nod today, and your thoughts on this kind of shakeup and what it means for Ethan and what it maybe means for Shane Sadeo.
So I think we knew a change in the rotation was coming, especially after how Game 1 last Saturday against Auburn went. And you have to applaud Michael Early and Jason Kelly for making these moves. These aren't easy decisions, and they're difficult conversations with the kids behind closed doors. By all accounts, Shane Sadeo has taken the conversation well. We asked Clayton Freshcorn, who is one of his best buddies on the team, about it yesterday during the media availability, and he is still available and ready to help his ball club in any way, shape, and form. And Coach Early said, he told you yesterday during our meeting, or our media availability, that he is still going to pitch. You are going to see Shane Sadeo this weekend in some capacity. So there has also been a lot of conversation about Ethan Darden and what his start looks like. And everyone is talking about, oh, well, it's just an opener. Michael Early has not said that. Nobody has said that it's just an opener. Darden's a guy who has starting pitching experience, 39 games to his credit at Clemson as a starter. So this isn't a guy that's just going out there and hoping to get one time through the order. At least that's not the way I see it. He's going out there and trying to shut down a decent Ole Miss offense and give his ball club a chance to win. I like going with Darden over a guy like Gavin Lyons, who I'm sure was a guy that might have been in the discussion to get a start, but I still love his ability to impact ball games twice in one weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what Darden's got tonight. Not your prototypical Friday night arm in the SEC, but this staff's not prototypical at this point. The arms are the arms, and you've got to put them in the best possible position to win ball games. And at this juncture, they think it's Darden going on Friday and keeping Aiden Sims in the Saturday spot, which you and I have discussed. Love that move, as it gives you a chance to either win or tie the series in a pivotal Game 2. So, and then everyone wants to know, why isn't Weston Moss penciled in on Sunday? Well, he can still come out of the bullpen and help you if you need it. And two, he's finding success not knowing he's pitching until the night before. So if it ain't broke, why fix that?
Ronnie?
Yeah, I think Richard said just about everything right there. I do think the interesting aspects of making this rotational change is just that it's new for Michael Early in his tenure. If you go back to week 1, season 1, and last year, it has been the same human beings have started every weekend baseball game since Michael Early has been the head coach at Texas A&M. This will be the first time that doesn't happen. Last year, it was Prager, Lampkin, and Miles Patton. This year, it's been Sadeo, Moss, and Sims. The orders have changed, but the same humans are pitching. This is going to be the first time we've seen an alteration in that, which is pretty remarkable, given the length of, you don't even see that at the major league level, where they have the same 5 guys start for the duration of 10 or 20 weeks. And that's what we're looking at here, even longer when you consider it's over the course of about a season and 2/3. But I said that there was a little bit of freedom in what they were trying to do, and the options and I guess solutions to the problem. There's freedom in it because there's nothing you're going to do that's going to make somebody go, "Oh, that's crazy." Like, everybody understands that they are trying to find the perfect marriage between setting their limited pitching staff in terms of depth up for a series win and marrying that with an offense that can carry you and can carry the load. So we don't have to be elite. We just got to be pretty good. And I think they're still working to find what's their best option for pretty good.
Scott, your thoughts on this change with Darden getting the start today?
I went back and looked at his numbers as well as Clemson, and considering that he started twice as many games as anybody on the Aggie roster, it's pretty remarkable. And he had varying success. 2 years ago, he had more success as a starter when they moved him in after the season had started than he had been in the bullpen. So I think that they've gone to the right guy. It'll be interesting to see how he approaches it, what he does differently. Is this a guy with enough experience to know that, hey, I've got to, be prepared to have some stuff in the tank and pace myself through a game. I also think that, going to what Sadeo can do, maybe it's the same situation as we've seen with Weston Moss, that not knowing when he is going to come out of the bullpen might give him something that wasn't there. And, I know Bronny can speak to this. Hitters are creatures of habit. It's not the first time that pitchers are not, I don't really want to know. I am better when I don't know when I'm going to pitch than when I am. And, in college baseball, when you sit around for a week, that's even a little bit different story from, the next level when you got to go every 5 days. It gives you a lot of time to think. And I think Sadeo is probably going to be chomping at the bit to get back out there in elite performance. But I also think that he wants his team to have the most success he can. And he's going to be the first guy, that greets Darden if he's still in the dugout each and every time he comes to the dugout after an inning. This is a big spot. But I also think that Ethan Darden is the most experienced guy that you can hand the ball to in a starting role and count on him to make things happen for you. And, it's going to set a tone. We're right about Aiden Sims going in game 2. He sets a tone in game 2. And then you look at, Ole Miss, their most experienced guy with the most success this year is a game 2 guy as well. So you're still going to have that primetime matchup in game 2. But Ethan Darden can set the tone for the weekend the first time he goes out there and gets the Aggies through a couple 3 innings.
Brian, for Sadeo, this opportunity coming out of the pen, just your thoughts on what it could do for him mentally, emotionally, physically, all that.
Yeah, I don't think that Shane needs this. I think Shane's fine. Like he's dealt with some real adversity this year. And remember, his rehab was a little bit prolonged from Tommy John surgery. And talking to some people in baseball, and specifically medical people in baseball, they are doing Tommy John surgeries a little bit different now. They're anchoring some stuff a little bit tighter. So they are seeing that the bounce backs are taking longer than they were, maybe 10 years ago. And I think that has to do with they're trying to, improve the long-term health of the athlete, where, we're not seeing as many double Tommy Johns or setbacks in rehab. Mm-hmm. So that was the goal, is to give them better longevity after they had the surgery. And so I do think there's still part of that with Shane coming back and being his old self. But Shane's awesome, man. Like, he's such a good kid and he's such a competitor. Like, I don't think he's the type of guy that doesn't care when he gets the ball. Like, he can manage his emotions. He can manage the week if he's getting the start. He can manage himself in the bullpen. He's very versatile in that way. The first person that I'd never considered that a guy is better out of the bullpen mentally than starter. Like, I always just, because I was a hitter, I just assumed like pitchers just go out there and pitch. Like, what does it matter if you're throwing in inning 1 or inning 6? Why does that matter to you in your brain? But it definitely does. The first coach that I ever heard talk about that was Nate Yeske coaching Chris Cortez. He goes, I don't think Chris is going to do well with managing a start during the week. Like, having all of this build up to a Saturday start or a Sunday start when he can think about it the whole time, I don't think that's going to be the best for him. He's best if he's sitting in the bullpen and somebody calls him and say, I need you to get hot, and you're 3 hitters away from going in. And so he doesn't think about it. He just goes and gets ready and goes to pitch. So Nate Yeske was the first person that ever brought that line of thinking into my analysis of baseball. And I think Weston Moss is that way, but I don't think Shane is. I think Shane, it's just an execution and coming and getting back to his old self. That's all I think this is. I don't think it's some mental hurdle for Shane.
Scott, what about Weston Moss and the TBA? As well as he's been pitching, do we expect him to stay the Sunday guy? Or if you got an opportunity to win this series, you use him early, which was initially what we thought they were doing.
I think that's still the plan. I think that they want to get wins when they can get them, and that's the most important thing. You're sitting at 15 now. You've assured yourself a winning season in SEC play, which is not something that a lot of people thought you were going to be able to do. But 15 wins after losing a game in a 29-win season, you made a major goal. Getting 500 in the SEC is one of those things that gets you that first round regional host. To go more than that, you need to add some wins these last 2 weekends. But I think the plan to go out and use what bullets I have to get a victory still leads to Weston Moss being a guy that might be coming out of a bullpen in either of the first 2 games. And it's not just, hey, we're playing semantics here and having him TBA, and we've told him, hey, that's just on paper. No, I think they would give him the ball if they would have a chance to win a game, either game 1 or game 2.
Richard, you're on the same page?
Yeah, I'm on the same page, but I do like how it has worked out the last 4 weeks where you'd
prefer to have him Sunday.
Weston Moss go on Sunday.
Yeah.
But if you've got to win, like Scott said, if the game is there to be had and you can win it, do whatever you can in that moment and then figure out the finale when you get there.
Bronny?
Yeah, if you get to Sunday and you haven't used Weston Moss, then he's your starter. But what happens if you win tonight and you got a chance to pitch him tomorrow to win the series?
You pitch him tomorrow.
Yeah, and then you figure out Sunday. And look, Michael Early is 1,000% right in that there are value in every one of these wins. So if you get 1 against Ole Miss and then you get 3 against Mississippi State, like they're all valued the same. So you don't want to just throw one away. But when you are in the situation that A&M is in and you're looking at postseason prospects and potentially hosting throughout, a regional and a super, getting 2 on the road here would be massive. I mean, it would be huge as a step toward, achieving that goal. So, yeah, you want to have the bullet available to fire if you need it.
I know we'll talk about it later, but 2 this weekend and 2 next weekend?
It's 1,000%. I think 3-3 over the final 6 will get you there.
Okay.
I think. But, certainly that would leave the discussion into the hands of the committee. And depending on how you feel about that, 3-3 will at least, you are very much right there.
And 4-2,
you're hosting.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that a little bit more throughout the show. Right now, when it comes to your financial decisions, having the right advisor makes all the difference. And Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors, they're an independent fiduciary firm working with clients all across Texas, focused on advice and not commissions or sales quotas. Their team has 18 professionals, 8 CFPs, and a CFA, and that level of experience helps ensure your plan is built with care, clarity, and long-term perspective. Visit paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no-pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, the Baseball Bunch. Got Scott on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, and Bronny and Richard here in studio.
You having an issue with your hand?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a deal, but everybody I've talked to...
That happened in the Real Madrid locker room?
We're having some issues. There's no doubt about that.
There's major issues with your current football club.
My current, they're always. There's no current. I don't
you just
change.
don't talk about them whenever things are going bad.
It's a second place for us sucks, right? That's what happens.
But you don't talk about it. And now they're legitimately giant fist fights in the locker room. Guys leaving practice to go on vacations with their girlfriends.
Yeah, it's a problem. Yeah, Mbappe has maybe changed the dynamic in that locker room. You're exactly right. And no Luka Modric. And
hey, I just want you to be accountable. Don't talk about it when it's good if you ain't going to talk about it when it's bad.
Well, it's usually good. That's why we have the most Champions Leagues ever.
Just the lifelong PSG fan checking in.
Hey, they're good. I was going to ask about Ole Miss, 24-6 at home at Swayze Field. What makes this such a tough place to play? Bronny, you want to start us off?
Beer showers.
Yeah, it's a rowdy student section. And I would say, you look around the league this year, I haven't been super impressed. We talked about this on B Team. Like, you look around the league this year, and because LSU's down, there's not been a lot of atmospheres you can point to and, like, that's elite. Like, A&M would surely be up there. Mississippi State, definitely. I think those two take the cake this season for home atmospheres. But I would have Swayze in the top 5. Swayze, Baumwalker at Arkansas, and, I mean, I still might go LSU, the box. Am I missing one?
Not that I can think of. Maybe I don't watch a lot of Georgia baseball, but
no, it's not. And it's certainly not the frozen tundra in Austin. It's incredible that they can get people in that place, considering how their AD said it's the coldest place on earth. It's a real line that the AD at the University of Texas said yesterday. Anyway, but Swayze's tough, and Ole Miss clearly has some success there, and they're comfortable playing in their own ballpark. We went on and on about the pitching rotation, and it's an important talking point, but that was one of the factors that I wrote about in my article on Monday to recap the Auburn series, is looking ahead at the final couple weeks of the season. There are 2 questions that you have to ask about this A&M baseball team. What happens, if anything, with the starting rotation? We know the answer to that now. The second thing is, what happens with the health of Texas A&M? And that is still a huge question mark. And Nico Partita is listed on the injury report. He will not play at least tonight. I don't know how close or far away that he is from playing, but there is a huge trickle-down effect if he can't play and that Chris Akopian can't play defense. And if this is not throwing shade at anybody, but we talked about the importance of wins down the stretch here. If you're going to Oxford, Mississippi, and we know all the changes that matriculate because of those absences in the lineup, if you can get one, that's pretty big. This is just not – it's not going to be the same Texas A&M order that we saw torch Texas a couple of weeks ago.
Apparently shade and shadows are the reason they can't grow grass over there. Huh. It was a quote from February, Bronny. Here's the problem. The facility used to be AstroTurf, hard as a rock. We've never had grass there. It's the coldest place in America until about May. It's freezing. The overhang creates a huge shadow. You couldn't really grow grass without heat lamps. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Plenty of grass over in the cemetery.
Well played, Richard.
It's just right across the street. The ballpark is right across the street from the cemetery.
Hey, Scott, let's talk a little bit about the Saturday matchup. Townsend, what is he? Number 21 draft prospect for the MLBs. It is going to be ace versus ace. What are you thinking about this matchup?
Interesting enough, last week was the first time that Aiden Sims didn't get 7 runs scored in a game. And, I think that, you look at that ball game, and it was just a hard-fought pitcher's duel with not the same amount of offense. I think that, you could look for the same kind of thing. And, it's the dynamic of, how do you pitch off a game 1, win or loss? Well, I think that both these teams, with who they're running out, with Townsend and Sims, have a pretty good idea what they're getting in the game 2. And now that that's locked in, this could be that Friday night type game. Because let's face it, it's not the first time that somebody who's the 21st overall prospect in the draft is starting a second game for anybody in the SEC. We've seen it in Vanderbilt. We've seen it in Florida. We've seen it at Ole Miss before. We've seen it at Texas A&M. It's just part of what this league is all about. is that kind of pitching. So it's huge. To what Bronny said, you're exactly right. But tip the hat to Gavin Grahovic, who went over to third base. And it was like he not only had he never left, like the work he did at first base, he looks like an even better third baseman now than when he was starting there every day. And I think that's a huge compliment to guys getting ready and being ready to play at whatever position they're put in. He attacked it just like being the leadoff when everybody questioned that. Well, I think that what the Aggies have in their leadership is a team first mentality that if you're going to go play me at first because I can make the team better by getting Partito on the field, hey, coach, I'm all for that. If it's, hey, he went down with an injury, I've got to go over and field at a very high level at third base so we have chances to win games, Grahovic's doing that too. So I think that this team feeds off of that. And I think that's one of the reasons why Aiden Sims has been so successful is he understands that teamwork behind him. And the mix and match at certain positions really haven't affected him. And I also think the Chestnut and Bender up are giving you a little bit defensively, but the bats is what is missing when you don't have Hakopian and Partita out there nearly as unless they raise their level up to a high level. You're not going to come close to those guys hitting, and that's a key is to get those guys back in the lineup for that factor alone.
Ryan, what can you tell me about the Ole Miss offense? Becerra, he's the Clemson transfer, right?
Yeah.
He's got 19 home runs.
Yeah, he'll be the one guy really familiar with Ethan Darden. I'm sure he's faced him quite a few times in inter squads at Clemson. But I would say functional. They've got some thunder in there. When you look at their home run numbers, I think they've hit 86 on the year, and a lot of that is eaten up by Judd Udemark and Tristan Becerra. It's not like a fool's gold offense because they can't hurt you. They've got a lot of guys kind of in that 5 to 10 home run range, but only 2 in double digits in Udemark and Becerra. And Becerra's overall season numbers look great, but his in-conference numbers are really struggling. And I think that's the difference. Like with Ole Miss, what you see is like you go through their stat sheet and you're like, okay, these are pretty decent offensive numbers, but they really have torpedoed in SEC play. So can A&M staff continue to cause them problems? They're led by Will Furness, who's a super veteran in the SEC, just good hitter. He's got a little thump, but it's going to be kind of Jack Mossish. Big guy, but doesn't hit with a ton of power. It's like singles, doubles, and gets on base. Udemark hits the ball as hard as anybody in the country. Like he hits the ball as hard as Jorian does. So if he hits the ball in the air, it might leave the ballpark. And Becerra has obviously had a good season in totality, but struggled as of late. I would call it functional. There are outs to get at the bottom. You look at their catcher in Austin Foley. He's hit under 200, but has like six home runs. So when he does hit it, it tends to go over the fence. But there are some outs at the bottom. They've made some changes in their lineup. They were struggling in the middle infield from an offensive and defensive perspective. They've switched some things around to try to get their best players out there as consistently as possible. Fielding over 970, so that means they pick it up and throw it at a pretty high rate. But the star of the show for Ole Miss is the pitching. Offensively, they're plenty good enough to beat you and beat this A&M staff. But I do think that over the stretch run of games, this will be the least talented 1 through 9 offense that A&M has played, probably since you go back to LSU. It's about like LSU, I'd say.
So help me understand how that compares to Auburn, because Auburn can beat you in the paper cut kind of way, right? As opposed to Ole Miss, was it 86 home runs, I think you said?
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit more boom or bust.
Yeah.
My takeaway from looking at statistics, and I know the cliche is statistics are for people that don't watch the games, and admittedly I haven't seen a ton of Ole Miss yet this year, but the offensive numbers are kind of very similar to Auburn. So going into it, you're like, oh, pitching, but then we saw last weekend what Auburn can do offensively. Paper cuts and then big blows. You can see the same thing from an Ole Miss offense. One name that Bronny didn't mention is Hayden Federico, sophomore outfielder, their best hitter in SEC play, 346 average. And Furness's OPS jumps to over 1,000 in SEC play.
Scotty, before we hit a break, anything offensively about Ole Miss that stands out to you?
Well, I think that they also play to their ballpark. And I think that's one of the things about the home field advantage is they're going to play to that ballpark. And that's why it's a tough place We talked about the beer showers. That usually follows home runs. It energizes them. A&M has had some success there, and it's amazing that this is a 21-20 all-time series with both teams winning some games on the opponent's diamond. So, you got to keep them in the ballpark. It is a place where even if they get a little juice from solo home runs, you just can't give away the free bases and have them turn those solo home runs into big inning home runs. And I think it's gonna be a challenge. And A&M needs to continue to get ahead of hitters and then put away guys with 2 strikes. That is the key to the Aggie pitching staff this year. You cannot let Ole Miss do 2-strike damage this weekend.
I know you got to hit a break, but to Scott's point about offensive or home field advantage, 24-6 at home is Ole Miss. All 6 of those losses coming to ranked opponents.
Good stuff there, Richard. Thank you. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more right now. We're talking Milliken Reserve, a farm-to-table community in College Station. They got homes, they got trails, they got farms, they got wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. They're committed to treading lightly on the land. Milliken Reserve created a sanctuary for family, for nature, and for community. Go out there with your kids this weekend. If the weather's good, go throw the ball, go fly a kite, go climb a tree, go hiking, biking, canoeing, you name it. They've got it all there at Milliken Reserve, and you can become a member of their conservancy. You'll be able to ensure that the native landscape and wildlife is there forever, and you have great benefits like access to the trails, member activities, programs, and much, much more. The website, millikenreserve.com. Again, that website is millikenreserve.com. I'm serious. One day, if a sponsor wants to do TexAgs Unfiltered, what we talk about during the breaks would make for really good content.
It's only UFO talk, nothing about basketball.
I found video.
You didn't find video.
Okay,
they released video. You didn't find video.
I found it on my Twitter feed.
This guy.
I have big issues with all the alien feed stuff. It always looks like it's shot out of a potato, and like even the especially the modern ones, it's like, oh, that's like there's a spaceship, there's a UFO, and it's like, what are we using, the Nokia 300 to record this?
Yeah, nothing is changing my mind. I haven't seen anything yet in the files. And Sydney put it into her ChatGPT to see if it could condense it. Nothing popped out, right?
No breaking news.
Thank you,
You guys have the Motorola Razr.
Yeah. Duh. I did. He did. Probably did too.
The Motorola was the real thin phone.
one.
Yeah,
you
I
flip
had
up?
that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Scott, did you? Do you care?
No.
Scott's like a
but
beeper
I
guy.
had a Palm phone. So I had a built-in Palm Pilot phone.
I had a Palm Pilot at one point.
Yeah, those were sweet. Whenever they had the little orb that you could use to roll around.
Huge, yeah.
Like that was the peak of technology.
Blackberries.
If we're going to be off topic a little bit, I do want to say Tuesday night, I'm not real happy with Ryan Brauninger for bringing up Buc-ee's when I'm thousands of miles away.
That was your issue with that broadcast? Boy, I got a bunch of...
Brawny talked too much.
Yeah, people were really upset with me that I either talked too much or didn't talk enough.
Oh, that's because there's two different sides to that. Yeah.
Right.
It's ridiculous that you would have the audacity to talk
to be a color
baseball
commentator.
Broadcast. That's crazy.
I understand all of that, but I'm just, when you start talking about what's your favorite Buc-ee's food, and I'm 1,000 miles away from the nearest Buc-ee, I don't want to hear that, especially when I can't even get cherry sours.
Change the channel. Put it on mute. Here's what I'll say.
It was 16-7, Scott. You could have missed a couple innings.
One thing that I did found, because I'm a fat boy, that you would not be appreciative of, that I think most normal humans would like this, though. They brought us a Ben's Hot Pretzel, which are soft pretzels, which you're probably already
Sounds
out
good,
on this.
though. It is.
And then they brought us one of those small containers of Bluebell Dutch chocolate. And so I was skimming the top of the chocolate ice cream with the Ben's Hot Pretzel.
Yeah, I would do.
It was a delicious combination. I highly encourage everybody that goes to the ballpark to try this.
I'm having Fage Best Self lactose-free 2% milk fat yogurt. That's what I'm going to do.
It's the opposite of motion.
It is the opposite of motion.
I'm in a lean bulk right now. Anyway, let's talk.
I don't need a fake ID.
Let's talk a little bit about Bronny touched on it, but I want to go deeper into this national seed picture. Richard, split both series, you're feeling extremely good?
If I go 3-3, I feel amazing. I feel if I get to 18 conference wins before I even go to Hoover, I mean, history and I believe RPI is going to show that you should be a top 8 national seed, no doubt about it. I would have no questions or concerns going into Memorial Day if I go 3-3 over these final 2 weekends.
Scott?
I feel about the same. I also think, you look at the teams that are around you. Coastal Carolina, they're playing Clemson. If you want to root for a non-Aggie team, root for Clemson to take care of some business with Coastal Carolina this weekend. I also think that if you finish in the top 4 in the SEC, unless for some reason you were horrible on Tuesday nights, a Florida type situation, you're going to be a top 8 national seed in the way college baseball is today. So play each game to win it. And then if you get to 18 and 11, you've got to feel like you're one of the top 8 teams in the country, and you'll be hosting when you have the capability to do it. And I think A&M's pointed in that direction, but that's not going to be their focus. It's a good focus for us, but I also think that I still think Georgia's going to get something if they go out and win the championship in this league, and you don't want to be compared head to head to them when they won the series against you. I think what happens on the field matters. It happens in all these sports, and we don't have to sit there and wait for football till one is one spot closer to you to determine who the better teams are, because I think in this league, they do that each and every weekend.
You also have to I think the committee will look at schedule imbalances and how many teams in the league got to play both Missouri and South Carolina. I think there's a clear delineation from the top 14 teams to the bottom 2. in terms of like roster talent, their ability to beat you on any day. I think that there is a massive gap. I mean, like 1 to 14 can all beat anybody on any given day. I think you have to play poorly to drop games in series to Mizzou and South Carolina. That's just the state of their programs right now. There are, and it's, you know, in some years it's going to benefit A&M. Last year A&M got to play both of them. They swept South Carolina, then got swept by Missouri, and that was the difference in their season. They didn't get to play both of them this year. Texas has, Georgia has. And I don't think Mississippi State plays either.
Wow.
I have to go back. They may have played South Carolina, but there are going to be teams in the league that didn't get to play either one of those. And so you have to take that into account when looking at their overall metrics as well. But one thing I think we have to talk about, like we've gone 45 minutes and we haven't discussed how A&M functions on the road with a lineup that is nothing like we talked about. Like it's nothing like it was a month ago in terms of health and availability. Like that is a massive part of this series. Who plays first, who plays second, who DHs. Now, the DH is pretty easy to answer, assuming Chris Akopian can do that and not play defense.
Right.
But I think, you know, Nico Partita being out is a massive blow, offensively and defensively. But I think it's lessened if Akopian can play defense because it gives you more options. They're clearly thinking that Wesley Jordan can help them offensively because he keeps getting chances, but all he can do is DH. So the fact that Chris Akopian can't play defense, or if he can't play defense, that keeps a guy they're wanting to get in the lineup on the bench. And then we got to talk about like what happens at first base and second base. If it's going to be Chestnut and Bender up, they have to be better. I'm not saying that they've got to go out and they've got to get 2 hits a game, but they have got to be functional pieces of this offense. Otherwise, the opposing coaching staffs, just like A&M does with some of these lineups in the league, go, this is where we can make our hay, right here. And to continue on that, I think Boston Kellner is fatigued. I said it on B team. I would have liked to see him get the night off. I understand they're limited in the guys that they can run out there. And this might be an unintelligent take for me because I'm not in the building every day. The coaches that are around these kids know them better than anybody. So this is me speaking from a pulled back purview of this scenario. He looks like just the overall wear and tear of the season's caught up to him a little bit. The bat's not moving as fast. I don't think he's as sharp defensively, but he's going to have to play through it. Where I could see Nico Partita coming back from this injury and going nuts because he's gotten a little bit of a reset. Jorian didn't become a part of this until later in the year. Right. The wear and tear hadn't caught up to him. Boston has been the guy every game, every inning at shortstop. Every one. The kid would never make this excuse ever because we know how he's wired. But I just look at it and go, man, this is the most baseball he's ever played with the most pressure on the line each and every pitch. It's understandable as a freshman that when you get into May, like we've seen it happen with Bear Harrison, who's a big dude and catches. We've seen it happen with Jackson Appel, who was a super veteran. It's normal. So how do they hit the how does Boston Kellner hit the refresh button and get himself going again? Because it's an important part. If you're going to have Chestnut and Bender up in the lineup, those bottom 3, you got to have guys get on base down there. You have to. Or all these RBI opportunities that Grahovic and Sorrell have been great with, they go by the wayside. So we have to look at this series that if it's going to be Bender up and Chestnut, I think those guys are as important as Grahovic and Sorrell this weekend.
So the no midweek game this week ends up being that rest, right?
Yeah, I would get Boston off his feet as much as I could between now and really the postseason starting. And just, again, the kid doesn't think he needs it, and he might not. But this is just what my eyes are telling me. It's not an effort thing. It's not an ability thing. It's just fatigue. You think about what we do in the gym. There's times where you're like, man, I just need a week.
Yeah.
I just need a few days to get out. My body needs to catch up. And I think Boston is at that point. And so maybe having a low stress Tuesday night was good for him. So we'll see what happens. But I just think that the 7, 8, 9, how they're going to line up this weekend, I think that's an important part of this offense because as it stands, they're going to put Bear up there in the middle, and I think they should, given this lineup construction. And then it gets to Jorian, who's got the high end, but there's some swing and miss. And so his get on base isn't as good as, if Jorian's hitting with Bear behind him and Boston's going right, there's some real get on base down there with some thunder. As the lineup's reconstructed, there's just not that right now unless those guys step up and play well.
We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more. It's TexAgs Live. Final segment of the baseball bunch before Billy Liucci comes to studio. Let's get some keys. Well, yeah, there's that.
You got about 20 minutes.
Is he? I
think so.
He didn't tell me anything.
Well,
I didn't hear a thing. Let me check my text to see anything. Nope. Anyway, let's go to Scott with the keys to this weekend. Scotty, tell us what you think.
I got to agree with Ryan there that he ended the last segment on what you get. You can't let this lineup be approached like Bronny said. I thought it was important the other day. Travis Chestnut getting a bunt down to reach, use his speed to have an opportunity to make something happen. The guys that are on in front of Grahovic and Sorrell give no pitching stance a chance to come up for air. So they've got to reach base to have success. And then I think that you just have to count when you get to that point that, Jorian Wilson in the lineup is going to have a good day, because I think the good and great days are going to far outseed the struggles of a couple games. And I think that, the bottom part of the lineup produces, A&M's able to get a series victory.
Richard?
I'll go with Aiden Sims. because that matchup on Saturday is huge. You're going to see you're facing off with Ole Miss's best pitcher. So Aiden has found success in those kind of matchups previously, right? He beat Liam Peterson a couple weeks ago in Gainesville. Think about the win he had in Baton Rouge where he was at his best. He wasn't as sharp against Texas in that rain delay, but he still outpitched the Luke Harrison for Longhorn. So that's an important game. I'm circling that one as the swing game in the series. But obviously, Scott said it earlier, the tone can be set with Ethan Darden tonight.
Bronny, who do you have your eye on? Who's somebody who's due or you think could have a big weekend?
It's kind of funny to say this, but, with the way Ole Miss pitches, I think it's going to be Caden Sorrell. I think he's due for a weekend where he takes over. He's been incredible. He's about to make more money than you and I will ever see with his name called at the first half of the draft. But I still think there's another level he can go to. And he'll be disappointed at himself with how much he swung in the Auburn series. And he walked 4 times against PV in the midweek. So clearly something is telling him, I got to tone this down.
Yep. All right. Good stuff, guys. Thank you very much. When we come back, we hope Billy Liucci in studio or on the phone or on Zoom. Now we'll tap dance. All that and more. You're listening to TexAgs Live. Scotty, safe travels, bud. We'll talk to you guys here in about 3 minutes.
Welcome back to TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. While I have a moment, let me catch up on spots. Heritage Films, when it comes to preserving your farm, your ranch's legacy, is not about capturing pretty pictures of your land. It's about transferring those values that your operation was built on for the future generations that are going to inherit it. Chance McClain and his team have done a wonderful job telling people stories. They've been doing it for a long, long time. And what they do is they don't just tell the stories, right? They go deep into the story of why you built your land, why your grandfather started the business, why your dad does what he does, how he met your mom. Whatever the family story is, let Chance and his team tell that story in a 2-hour documentary that is going to be something that you're going to cherish for generation after generation. Check out the website, yourheritagefilm.com. That is yourheritagefilm.com. Go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I know we've had a couple of text messages and thoughts. Sydney, what do you have for us?
We have lots of baseball talk. I like this comment from James Ellis. Out of the pen, you could have Sadeo, Bond lefties, and Fresh Corn, Lions as righties. Be nice to get a third lefty and right, but we can roll with that as long as they take care of business.
Yeah, I think what the baseball bunch guys talked about there is the interesting part about the offense is the trickle down effect of the injuries, right? If Hakopian's just your DH and Nico's obviously not going to play today, what that does to the bottom of the order. Anywho, we are now joined by Billy Liucci, who I was told a few minutes ago they thought you were in Dallas, but you're here. So welcome to the program.
That's why I ignored your text.
Yeah,
What's up, Sydney?
I'm going to start ignoring your text. That's what I'm going to start doing.
Well, I knew I was going to be here in a matter of seconds. So, the baseball buffoons we're talking today.
They're very nice.
Speaking of buffoons, I heard you guys put on a clinic this morning.
I knew you were going to bring it up.
I haven't listened to it yet. I got text messages from people that were not sitting in that room. Just random friends of mine were like, man, the TexAgs crew needs to
I'm going to put that on Olin.
I think the words were they need to learn, go back to and retake remedial math.
I'm going to put this on Olin. Not that he did bad math. He just did not understand how there were 12 play-in games when there were 2 before, and we're only adding, 8 more teams? That was the part and I didn't want to figure it out on the air.
Put on quite a show. And Sydney, I'm disappointed if you were a part of it. I have not listened yet.
Sorry.
You were a part of it.
I was.
You couldn't figure it out
I'll take
either.
accountability.
You might need to do a TikTok of that, push it out to all your following because you guys deserve it.
Do you understand?
I haven't even looked.
Okay.
I will understand it.
Yeah, I will too.
I'm sure that was Nick even agreed it was a brutally painful moment for you guys.
Yeah. Okay, but why do I get blamed?
Because you were right there in it.
I tried to pivot. I go, we're not going to do this on air. That's exactly what I said.
Well, you should have pivoted.
I tried my best.
You tried, but you should have.
And then you bring us right back here.
I tried to dodge that punch at Brazos Valley MMA this week, but I didn't. It's not the effort.
This wasn't a punch.
Result.
This wasn't a punch. This was just.
I don't know what you did with that finger, but I don't,
Does it look good?
I don't want to look at it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's awful.
Can we talk about the rotation shakeup, please?
Well, I heard you talking about the lineup shakeup, and to start with that,
okay.
I mean, it's not a shakeup. That was this past weekend as well. But until you can get those two guys, Partita in the lineup, Hakopian on the field, it's not just the lineup that suffers. I mean, because it's crazy how
defensively
Hakopian's still playing. It's crazy that one absence in Nico combined with Hakopian not being in the field. So technically, you're like, well, how many players are out? Well, it's one. But the trickle-down effect, it's not just the lineup, but think about defensively. You go from Grahovic to Bender up at first. You go from Hakopian to Chestnut at second. You go from Partita to Gavin at third. And then it doesn't allow you to have TK in left. So that one absence from the lineup altogether, plus one guy not being able to play in the field, has created I think a really significant trickle down, much more so than even the lineup, where you look at the bottom of it and you're going, man, But it's one of these weekends where, like, hey, Blake Benderup and Chestnut have been around for a long time, and like just go out there in Oxford starting tonight and have yourself a weekend. They've had good games. They played in big games. They've had clutch hits. It's not at the rate that some of these we've seen We've seen Binderup get hot a time or two over his career, more than a couple times. Like, just this is why you came back to A&M, didn't go transfer to a lesser program. This is why Chestnut returned to A&M for one final go around, like to play in games and series like this. Like, you didn't. Binderup could have gone somewhere else and say, "I'm going to stay here and finish it out at A&M." And I'm going to, try to start. And if I don't, I'm still going to be coming up in clutch moments in big games in SEC baseball because that's what I've come up on. It's all I know, and I don't want to, transfer down or out or go to the Big 12 or something like that. I'm going to stay here, and here's your moment. So I'd like to see those guys not where we come back talking about it wasn't a bottom three where they couldn't get hits in the lineup. Same thing with Kellner. Go out there and those three guys have a solid weekend, and if they do, then I think A&M can keep things rolling. But it is daunting when you're down not two bats, but two guys as good as those two, and then it's daunting for anybody when that much shakeup happens. And then you mentioned the pitching staff.
Well, and then your Fridays have been a question mark the last few weeks, so you're doing what you can. And maybe Sadeo in a reliever role coming in the fourth inning, maybe that's exactly what he needs. I mean, you got to hope that that's what he needs.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sadeo, he has a lot of pride. I think he's very competitive. That's why I felt good about him pitching against Texas in that opener that week, because I'm like, if there's one team, this guy's, he's super competitive. I just think it's unfortunate. And people can say what they want, and you can tell me about a Tommy John timeline and this and that, but I just don't think. I think it's clear he's not quite the same yet. It just is what I mean. If he'd come back and had another year, I think he looks totally different than he does right now. But it is what it is. I think he had to make a move. Shane the bullpen could be something where he comes out pitching pissed off or hungrier or feeling disrespected, or maybe he's just better at it.
Right.
Maybe it's just a more comfortable feeling. So he's got the stuff, he strikeout numbers. He just it's been a rough year for him. And again, this was a guy that, I think Tennessee Tech had an inning or two where they hit him hard in the very first game back. It's just not been what I think he hoped it was yet. But, man, there's a lot of season left if this team goes on a run. You got 2 weeks of SEC baseball, you got Hoover, and then you got the postseason, which could extend another month if things are going well. So they need him, and there's time for him to, wherever he's at physically, I don't know. But mentally, he can get it back real quick. And maybe, like you said, maybe it's a move. Maybe it's lighting a fire on them. Maybe it's just comfortability thing and coming out of the pen. But I like it. You move Darden. Darden's been good out of the pen, but he hasn't. It's not like you're moving, you're not moving Lyons out, which I think would have been a bad decision. He's got starting experience, but he's been so valuable. Not that Freshcorn's a starter, but you're not moving him. I mean, Darden was a good bullpen piece, but he hasn't been just vital to it. And if you do go in a game where maybe Darden goes one time through the lineup, maybe just into the third inning, and then you bring in Sadeo, and if he can go long, you may have Lyons again not Lyons. You may have Darden again on Sunday if you need him.
Yeah, and then the way I think we've seen Weston Moss the last 2 weeks, I feel like this rotation has been 1.5 good starts a weekend.
Yeah.
You've gotten a couple really good starts from Weston Moss.
Yeah, I think for the last, look, I'm going to keep it real simple here. Sydney, pull up A&M baseball schedule and results. If I'm not mistaken, you can fact check me as we go. I'm looking up Florida, LSU, and Auburn.
Yep.
Runs allowed. And I'm not even talking about Moss. So we don't have to dive into his last 3 starts. You can if you want. I'm just talking about the amount of runs that the opposing team has scored on Sundays. LSU, I believe, had 2. Florida, I think, had 2, maybe 3, and Auburn had 3. And those came, I believe, in the 8th and 9th innings. I know they did because I know Weston Moss didn't give up a run against Auburn.
I'm looking what he's done since Vanderbilt, okay? I have here. He's given up 3 runs, no runs.
Vandy, yeah, because he didn't pitch against Texas.
Right.
Go
3
ahead.
runs, no runs, 1 run, and 1 run against Auburn. That's
Okay.
6 innings, 4 innings, 4 innings, 4 innings.
So that's against Auburn, LSU on the road.
At Florida.
LSU and Florida on the road, Auburn and Vandy.
Yep.
He's been pitching really well. Now, you'd like to see those innings get a little longer, which how many was this weekend?
Past
6?
weekend was 6. Yeah, 6
You'd
and a
like
third.
this is the trend you want to see, but this is not an overnight thing where damn, they needed him against Auburn and he really stepped up. Yes, that's true, but he's been building towards that for weeks now.
Yeah, he's been really good.
I like the idea of not moving them around, though.
See, I like Sims in that Saturday role. And I've talked to people like, why don't you move him to the Friday role? Yeah, that makes sense too. I get it. But he's been so good on Saturday to either even the series or win the series. I just think I like the way it sets up. And the way it's been setting up for Moss the last few weeks also. That's why I like that they didn't move those 2.
Well, and it's just, I think it would be hard to move. Like you said, I don't want to see them move Sims. And the way it's set up right now, I just wouldn't want, like, in a regional, I wouldn't want to pitch him against a 4 seed, number one. I'd want him in that, against that 2-3 where the winner is in the driver's seat for a series and playing one less game as you get into, the championship game or 2. It's a huge advantage for these A&M bats, to be facing a pitching staff in game 4, game 5 on a weekend. So that game is so important to me to have Sims. And then the same thing is when you go to a super, with the way A&M's lineup is, of course you want somebody to step up and be a complete stud on the bump in game 1 of a super regional, without question. But with the way the A&M lineup is, it's almost a situation where if you can just out-hit the team and get good pitching, not great, you want great, you guys know what I'm saying, but if you can win like they beat Texas 8-7 or 9-8, I believe in game 1, if you can win a game 1 of a super in that fashion, then you feel tremendous about winning that series, especially with the way Moss is pitching on Sundays. So I just don't, I think, yeah, sure, if Moss kept leveling up, you could go, damn, what would he do on a Friday? We could go 2-0 if he's pitching like that with our bats. But moving a guy from Sunday to Friday this late seems pretty difficult.
The other thing is, back on the Friday before the Vanderbilt series, the baseball bunch guys were making the comparison to the 22 team. Since that, and that was before really I thought the rotation was taking hold, right?
Mm.
Since that point, they have lived up to it. Do you see some of those same comparisons to the way the 22 team that made it to Omaha played? They mashed. You had some questions about the rotation at that time as well.
Micah Dallas started pitching better. Moo Menifee. Polish went from, he was struggling early a little bit, then got good, then ended up great. Yeah, you see some of that for sure.
Yeah, it's a good comparison. And I just want to bring up some of these numbers. The big 3, Gavin, Caden, and Hakopian, 44 combined homers, 153 RBIs. I also think you may want to fact check me. They're almost at 100 home runs as a team, which would have only been the third time.
I know on Sunday, against Prairie View at one point, they were at 99 in that game.
99. They were at 99. Okay. So they're right there. All right. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more with Billy here on TexAgs Live. Some other football things. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That is at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We'll hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com and your favorites are on their way.
I like this idea. So Sydney does not, the only music, admittedly, that she knows and listens to only is like current, right now, 2026, or what would be your window? 2020 to 20 till now?
Maybe 2016 to now.
Okay, last 10 years rap. Okay. That's it. There's nothing else. Country, R&B.
Is that even a thing still?
Probably not. 80s.
Do you listen to R&B?
A little bit.
80s classic rock. What else we got? 90s music. The whole, grunge era. Then you have, what do they call it now? Dad rock, like Creed and Nickelback, all that, like that. Like there's so many types of music she doesn't even know. Hair bands, whatever. So what I'm gonna do, and we might have to content this, not here on this show, but elsewhere. I'm gonna give Sydney like a bunch of different genres, and then like every week she has to listen to. I'll put together like a dozen or so songs. We can team up and do this. Mm-hmm. Put together a list. She listens and then comes back and tells us which song she liked out of those. And then the next thing you know, by the end of this, Sydney is musically diverse.
Expanded
her parents would be proud. You go, hey mom, hey, listen to this, and like this is a song. And she's like, oh my god, where'd you hear that? I grew.
My dad would love that. He hates rap.
There are many Aggie Cowboys.
I love rap, but I love everything. It's everything. So we're going to do that, and we're going to see. You're going to have to get me your mom and dad's graduating year, high school, and then we'll do one level where I'm just going to kind of be like, okay, your parents are going to love this music.
I'm in.
Sydney, when I was your age, I was you, okay? I was an NGS, but I
You
was.
were not Sydney.
All I listened to was rap, and all the Aggie Cowboys and Betas were mad at me because I wouldn't listen to anything else, but I have expanded with time. And I'm just curious why I caught 2 strays during that break.
I didn't say anything.
You just caught 2 strays.
You strayed yourself right there.
Didn't he? He goes, Dave Matthews, man. That's something that David would go to.
I'm going to Dave Matthews.
Okay,
tonight.
but you said that about
I'm
me.
not happy about it.
And then
I'm
you're like, and I know more rap than you today. Like, why do you have to make it a competition?
Because you made a face like, you don't know rap. Like, I'm like.
I mean, you haven't hung out with rappers like I have, but that's okay. You haven't flown the country with them. You haven't left the country with them. That's fine. No big deal.
You had to because you were media. You were like they
I was their boy.
They had no choice but to bring.
I was like part of the
Nobody
the crew.
likes Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And Tribe Called
And Black
Dork.
Eyed Peas and Ye, all my people.
Yeah,
Dr. Dre, both. The
You're
one on
ruining the
TV
whole-
and the
I just want this over. I want.
It was your segment idea.
We were talking about a segment idea, and you did.
But
this.
you had to come with strays. And I just wanted to make sure that, okay, I'm going to ask you a football question. Is that
Please,
all right?
for God, as long as it doesn't involve Kanye West or Tribe Called Dweeb.
Thoughts
But
and
I did lash out at you because I am going to Dave Matthews tonight, and I just said yes to it. And I know a lot of people there's about 5 songs I like by Dave Matthews, and I went to one concert.
Is he the satellite guy?
In 2018, and he didn't sing 3 of the 5 songs I like. Didn't even sing. Didn't sing "Crash Into You," which was when we were in college while you were dorking it out over there with the Cowboys, and then they didn't. Man, what were you? You were a part of something called the Aggie Cowboys.
Yeah, Beta Theta Pi, the Aggie Cowboys.
Oh,
If
the
you ain't
fraternity.
an
Yeah,
Aggie
yeah.
Cowboy,
Okay.
you.
Yeah. I thought that was a separate group. I forget.
No, they're the same. Yeah, we were cool. We're the coolest
good
ones on
pick
campus.
by you. I'm sure you fit in great with that group.
There's a rumor, which is a lie. They said I showed up to the first meeting in Jordan's sunglasses and 2 loop earrings. That did not happen. The Jordans may have happened.
I still make fun of. I was talking to Dan a couple days ago, and we still make fun of him. He was on his recruiting visit. Hunter brought him to a party, and Dan was in jorts and he'll deny this part. I think this might be an exaggeration when I say a fluorescent tank top, but he was in just a tank top and jorts on his recruiting trip.
Yeah, that's not.
It's come a long way.
That's not part of my repertoire. Could this year's receiving core be deeper than last year's recruiting core? Do you want to go any deeper than just yes, or you just want to say yes and we move on?
The question was, could it be? The answer is yes.
And then I ask you why,
I
Billy Liucci.
believe it will be because depth in terms of depth of guys ready to play at a high level.
Yes.
They had numbers, and they had good depth last year, but I don't think we thought that. I thought it. Other people writing and talking about it didn't. They tried to knock it, and people made a big deal about Micah Hudson leaving, like that was the end of the world, or that they didn't get Nick Anderson. What they didn't know is there was a world where they could have got Carnell Tate, who was really flirting with going into the portal, and rumor had it he was interested in the Aggies, and had he done that, people really would have been crying if they knew that didn't happen, but look how it turned out. Depth came in the form of Ashton Bethel Roman, certainly. It really showed up against South Carolina when you had Williams score a long touchdown out of nowhere, Isaiah Williams. No one was expecting that. And then you had, TK Norman made a couple plays there along the way. But the reality is last year you basically went Craver, Concepcion, Bethel Roman, and Bussy for the most part. That was primarily what you went with. So this year, I think they'll go much deeper than that in terms of guys who can really contribute at a high level. So I think you start with Craver and Bethel Roman, the returnees, and Bussy. okay, who had a great spring before he got hurt, a tremendous first, I don't know how many practices, first several practices. And then you go and you throw in Isaiah Horton. Now you're already up to 4, I think, and with some size, which you didn't have last year. And then I believe, here's TK Norman now, another season down the road. But then you can also throw in, I think this freshman class is sensational, but particularly Aaron Gregory just stands out to me. And then and Jaden Warren as another really fast, big-bodied guy. Somebody, Madden Williams, Mike Brown, somebody else besides Gregory, I think could absolutely contribute in that receiving corps. So I think you can go 6 deep of quality that you trust. I don't know who that 5 and 6 are going to be. Well, I think without question, Gregory's going to be 5. Not to say he's the 5th guy. He might push higher than that, but that gives you 5. And then there's going to be somebody out of that group that's more than ready to play. And by the way, I didn't mention Jerome Miles, right? Who TBD, when they start fall camp, remember when he got here, the first practice made a couple of just absolutely obscene catches as a 5-star wide receiver and then tore his knee.
Well,
he's got to be healthy before I believe he will be.
And then my follow-up, could it be better? And before you answer that question, which just sounds ridiculous outside to say because you had KC Concepcion, a first-round pick, but if the sum of the parts, I think it can equal better. It could be, production-wise, right?
I think it should be. I think it absolutely should be. I mean, I don't know that Isaiah Horton is going to be a first-round pick, but let's say Isaiah Horton plays his way into being a second-round pick or third even. But you have him and Craver elevates. I see some mocks have him down towards the back end of the first round, but he's going to only get hurt because of his size. But let's say he elevates in his first team all SEC. So you've got a slightly better Craver. You've added Isaiah Horton where you lost KC. You've hopefully a much better Bussy, and I think a much better, here's the key, I think you get a much better Ashton Bethel Roman, and maybe you have a future first rounder in Aaron Gregory that's just getting his feet wet as a true freshman. He's just scratching the surface. But yeah, I think the wide receiving core could absolutely be better, even losing a first rounder and a guy that I thought was probably the team's MVP in KC Concepcion, at least on offense anyway.
So could Gregory maybe be this year's Morrow, last year's Morrow, I should say, like having that kind of impact where this freshman is like, he wasn't the guy, right? He had a couple dudes in front of him, but my goodness, we saw flashes like, yes, he could be the guy.
Yeah, I think more so, though, because you can put more receivers on the field than you can running backs, and there's just more reps to go around as a result. Morrow became up huge, obviously, in that Florida game, and then again in LSU. And not to say he didn't have moments elsewhere, but he had, for half the year he had Le'Veon. For half the year he had 3 older backs ahead of him. And then the second half of the year, he still had Rubino. Actually, he had Amari was never ahead of him. They started putting Morrow in, but I mean there were 4 older backs when the season started. Even when the season ended, he was behind. It felt like Ruben and EJ in terms of maybe it was trust and knowing what to do in the offense and things like that. Or I don't know what it was, because to me when he was out there, he was pretty damn electric. And but I just think at wide receiver there's more opportunities. I think Aaron Gregory will be more impactful this year than Morrow was last year. Now I think Morrow will be more impactful this year because I need to see him be one of the more impactful kind of breakout performers on this team if this running game is going to look like I think it can.
We'll hit a break. We'll come back with more brand identity when I talk about the great people there at Guarantee Bank and Trust. Been around since 1913. They have a century of experience helping Texans as one of the most respected community banks. They've been around for a long time, making sure that you guys know that they are your community bank. They got 3 great locations in the Bryan College Station area, with deeply invested in this region. You can find them all over Texas as well, though. They're from East Texas to DFW to Houston to Central Texas. And, of course, as I mentioned, right here in Bryan College Station. So wherever you are in Texas, Guaranteed Bank and Trust is going to make local decisions with the people that you know and trust. That's what makes them a community bank. When you go there, you'll know the people there. The great people like Brandon, who runs the College Station Market. He runs the entire Bryan College Station Market. You can say hi to Jared Salvato there as well. They grow stronger for the community, and they make every decision shaped by the community that grows stronger. What you need to do is check out the website, gnty.com. That is gnty.com. Go to Guarantee Bank and Trust. No, it's exactly 1 minute, 12 seconds. We can count it. Guarantee Bank and Trust, a division of Glacier Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. TexAgs, we know things. Billy has spent the last 4 minutes, 3 minutes, listening to the debacle that was the bracket talk during the go hour.
And it's still not over. It's longer than I thought because it went through the whole commercial break. Sans that 1 minute, 72 second. You see what I did there with math?
Yeah, that was
1
good.
minute, 72 second.
Yeah,
Because it really probably was 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
You want us to go get the? You are just out to pick fights, and I'm fine with that.
I'm a nitpicker today.
But I am. You know what I'm gonna do? Because I'm the equalizer.
I'm in a good mood.
Like Denzel Washington, I'm the equalizer. I'm gonna start nitpicking your segments.
Okay, let's go.
And I'm gonna do a little group chat on the side.
I've got a long article coming out today. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to go finish it. Scatter shooting, and you can nitpick the hell out of it.
But I like your analysis. I never nitpick you.
You don't read it.
I do.
You read one line, you come to the show. Billy, I noticed in your article you talked about this.
I read the entire thing, and then I like. Full disclosure. Today's a disclosure Friday.
What you care to expound upon.
Here's what I've learned about you.
Sometimes you sound like
Dr. Drew?
No.
Penske?
Some combination of Julia Child and Goldmember.
Hello. This is what I've learned about doing a show with you.
She doesn't even know Austin Powers.
Either I ask you what you want to talk about, or I don't. And you will give me a look like, why am I bringing up something that I shouldn't have brought up? So now I don't know what to ask you.
Bring me up. We talk baseball. Let's talk some more football.
Okay. Well, I would
a lot going on this week.
Well, there is a lot going on this week. I'm going to ask you this question. Which team that is currently not in the conversation to be maybe a playoff team can quietly make a run in 2026?
Out of the SEC, let's say.
What you can choose.
Here's a team that I don't expect this. But if you're looking at a team kind of from the outside of I think everyone in the top 8 of the SEC are considered playoff contenders. Let's start here at home with A&M. You go Oklahoma, you go Texas, you go Georgia, you go LSU, you go Alabama, you go Ole Miss. I'm up to 7. Maybe, one of the teams that's kind of just clipping that over there is like a Tennessee. Some people, but they don't have a quarterback. I don't see how you say them, and I also wouldn't pick them. But if there's one more team for me that I'm thinking of here that's interesting, and A&M plays them, South Carolina, I'd have to break down their schedule. I don't have much faith in Shane Beamer and his antics running off the field at halftime and him running his mouth to Taylor McGregor during her outstanding halftime interview that he just yapped and yapped and yapped about how badly they were beating A&M and how they did the same thing last year. It wasn't halftime. It was, I think, when it was like 17-0. And he's like, this is no surprise. We beat this team by 17 points last year. What a lunatic. So, no, I don't trust Shane Beamer to get it done. But I look at his team, and I look at how well they typically play at home, and I look at Sellers and Nick Harbor, and I know they got some transfer tailbacks, but in that offense under Kendall Briles, who he's up and down. But,
he is up and down.
But you give him a Lenora Sellers, and I think he can do, I think he goes back to what he was able to do
KJ.
With Jefferson at Arkansas. And Sellers, to me, is much better. Much better.
Significantly better.
Not even close. And Jefferson was good. But Sellers, I could, and you give him a target like Harbor and some of those other.
Third-year starter?
Dude, I think that team, and then Dylan Stewart coming off the edge, and they've recruited well defensively. So, I mean, you look at the NFL draft and what they've been doing defensively. They get dudes. That's a team that, do I think they're going to the playoff? No. But if I'm picking a team in that bottom 8 or 9 even, counting Tennessee.
Did you have Missouri as one of your teams?
No, I did not. Okay. I don't think anyone's talking about them as a playoff team. They could be someone you talk about.
But I think they'll be ranked
preseason
top 25.
Yeah, and I think they give Austin Simmons a lot of credit. But to me, if there's a team there on that other side, for me, it is South Carolina, and I think they could beat a team or two in that other group.
Mm-hmm.
I got to check their schedule, but hopefully that's not the Aggies. I think that's a low key, pretty tough game for A&M, unless the Gamecocks are down and out by then. And if they're having a bad year and they couldn't get Sellers right, and they're kind of done with Shane Beamer, and there's a lot of friction and stuff, then I think that's not much of a daunting game. Odds are that's going to be a pretty daunting football game for A&M to go play there late in the season in that midst of Alabama, Tennessee, Oklahoma, and Texas, and then you just drop in a little road trip to Columbia, South Carolina. That if you don't consider that one a tough game, then you just, I don't think you know SEC football. And again, that's a talented roster. And especially so at pass rusher and quarterback, like pass rush, quarterback, and Sandstorm is a tough combination, especially in November in the midst of a really tough stretch.
And then I want to close out the segment with who is the most overrated coach in the SEC or in college football? You can give me 2 or 3 candidates. I was asked this on a show the other day, and I think they asked me what I thought about Sark, and I didn't think Sark was overrated. I think Sark is rated where he.
I agree.
He's gotten the 2 Final
I think they
Fours
overrate him as an OC because much like they're doing with Arch right now, they focus on the good and ignore the bad.
Yeah.
Like Marcel Reed, it's held against him that, well, he only produced 1 offensive touchdown against Auburn. That wasn't a good game. Auburn's a pretty damn good defense, especially in the first half of the season there. But then they'll tell you how good Arch was against Oklahoma when their offense scored 1 touchdown. And then if you bring up 1 touchdown against Georgia, they'll say, well, it was Georgia and he had no blocking. Okay, well then can we talk about no blocking and running game for Marcel in the final 3 games? Because South Carolina, Texas, and Miami's defensive fronts really got after the Aggies. They couldn't really run the football. They couldn't move people. They were behind the chains, and Marcel was under a lot of pressure. So with that said, I feel like the same thing happens with Sark. They focus on the good because when he's in his bag, that offense looks unstoppable at times under him. Whether it's Ewers, whether it's Arch, those receivers, the run game, the screens look like. How do you make the screen game look so easy? These guys have 4 blockers, 1 defender, and it's like, but then we leave out, and I feel like a lot of times the national media leaves out what the Longhorn fans know about him, which is, damn, he really struggles. They've had some real issues inside, not just the red zone, but I would go further and say like inside the 10-yard line. They've had some issues. So to me, that is that's why I think he's rated where he kind of should be as a head coach. He's done a really nice job there. But I think as an OC, he's overrated, but not as a head coach, if that makes sense.
What about Lane Kiffin?
Overrated to me in the SEC because there's so much turnover. It's crazy, like to try to think about
it's true.
Who's even here. I would go Josh Heupel. I think that's a situation where the Tennessee fans would be like, get back to me after this year because we don't think he's really all that. But
he made the playoffs 2 years ago.
And I think they made the playoffs, and they got pummeled in their first game. And I don't think that was too impressive of a team. And I think he had 1 other really good season with Hendon Hooker, and then that was a really unfortunate injury. They went to South Carolina in November in the sandstorm and got humiliated, and that season just kind of was over from there. I just don't see the greatness there. I just don't like in the demeanor. Is he the fiery leader? Is it what they have a pretty massive NIL machine going there.
He has had some bad luck though, right? I mean, the whole Nico situation last year.
I mean, yeah, but you took him. It's not. Is it bad luck when you take a guy with that type of recruitment and that many red flags, and then it ends up burning you? No, that's a head coaching decision. he signed off on that. So, I mean, again, that's what it's like. Mike Elko has had to make some very tough decisions along the way. And if he'd have made the wrong one in some instances, he gets burned, you know?
Yep.
That's part of it. So, yeah. And then the other thing with that, he's had bad luck. You look at what happened to their two corners last year, including Ricky Gibson. That was going to be one of the strengths of their team. Well, are we making the same excuses for Jimbo Fisher and the quarterback injuries?
I do.
I don't think most A&M fans do, and I don't think the national media surely does.
But I do. I definitely do.
Yeah, but what they'll tell you is, well, the O-line didn't protect the quarterbacks,
Right.
and they won't kind of go into how the injuries happen, O-line. But no one else is, and these are the same people that are not going at. I think Josh Heupel, to me, is the guy.
Let's continue down that path.
Drink might be second.
On the other side, because we're hit up against a break. Because that
More
actually,
so than Lane Kiffin.
what you just said there came up with Feinbaum.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we can kind of follow that up.
Lane Kiffin is overrated currently by the LSU fans, and I don't like the way the media tends to be scared to go as hard after him as they would a Jimbo or a Heupel or a Dabo Sweeney, who two of those guys have national titles, and they love going after those guys, or any other coach, Kalen DeBoer,
right,
for that matter. If you listen to how the media talks about him, but they won't do that to Lane. Everybody wants to be the cool kid to sit at the table with Lane, and it's just weird to me that they do that. But I think the people in Baton Rouge are overrating Lane Kiffin. But I think what Lane did at Ole Miss is pretty damn remarkable. I think he's really, really good, but I do need to see, like, you're going to a different place now. Does the entire circus that goes with it, does that play in a very, very high pressure situation? I think he's got to hit the ground running this year. Otherwise, that could be tough.
What a break. We'll come back with more. It's TexAgs Live. All right. So Billy just asked, and I thought I answered it eloquently. Why does coffee spill more than water? And I said it's the size of the cup. And then we Googled, and you thought the AI machine was the most stupid response ever.
Well, look, you typed in why does coffee spill more than coffee? I caught you lying about that.
I did.
He did a little pop. Why does coffee spill more than water? And I said, no. What did you really say? Why does coffee spill more than coffee? I don't buy the size of the cup thing. And the AI is stupid. The AI is talking about, just when you're walking. I didn't say anything about walking. I just said, why does it spill more? And then for it to say the size of the cup,
lower surface tension.
It's not like you're pouring a gallon of coffee into a small cup. It's still a cup. You fill it to like within an inch of the top.
Yeah, but your strength on a smaller surface area, like your wrist strength. Like,
so
if you're driving fast on the freeway,
as a human being, you don't have the control. So I'm drinking coffee like this, right? I can't
maybe,
because my hand is so. You got it on my shirt. You got it on my shirt now. That's not.
I got it.
So anyway, like, who does that?
Well,
who drinks? I can't control my hand strength in this smaller cup. Some of the things you're saying today, I don't did
I say it or did the AI say it?
It's insane.
AI.
It is actually
I hope
insane.
your knucklehead friends that text you about how bad that segment was about the tournament talk about how bad your thinking is.
One
on
of
the
them
coffee.
was. I'm going to say it. I'm going to put him out there. First person that told me about it this morning was Jake Brown.
He's smart.
Big fan of the show. He likes you.
He's smart.
But even he was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And it was.
This is crazy too.
So my questions about coffee were just, A, it's so spillable. Like you hit one bump in your car, it's like, and then B, the second part of that is there's nothing that, like we could be 1 minute I'm drinking the coffee, then we go to one of your long form commercials, and I take another sip and it's ice cold. It went from like hot to ice cold.
I need one of those things that keep it hot all the time.
Oh yeah, Yeti should come up with one of those.
Yeah.
They'd probably make a lot of money if they did that.
By the way, somebody says you're drinking with your pinky out, your coffee.
Really? Well, that's my fault. I apologize.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
That's subpar.
That's really bad.
That's embarrassing.
I feel like I'm doing that. I think when I was demonstrating, I was doing that. I feel like.
So can we finish the Jimbo thing that Feinbaum called it we'll go for like 5 extra minutes.
A napkin, please.
On TexAgs.com. Those of you watching or listening on the Zone KPTX.
What, 5 minutes? Might keep going.
Okay, well, let's go as long as you want. I got nothing to do today, Billy, except get an extra.
I got to finish that.
And I'm not bringing it up, Nick. I'm just got to do that. Anyway.
Your finger looked
No, I don't want to talk about it because apparently they're keeping score.
Be a football player. Just pop that. Let me do it on air. Pop that thing right back.
Only if I can do it right back.
I don't have a damaged finger. Are you sure?
I can show you. Jimbo, okay?
Let me see.
No. We're not playing that game. You can do. Olin's got a finger that you can look at. That's a great one.
No, they do it all the time with these broken fingers. Just let me kind of just.
Only if I can put you in a rear naked.
I just want you to stop talking like that on this show, and let's continue. I'm not going to be putting any kind of
Anaconda.
rear naked. No, none of that.
It's a slow.
Are we off air? Because I want to say none of that.
No, we're not. We'll see you guys on the
slow,
Zone next time.
nothing. I just wanted to reset your finger so you don't have to go and make this a big deal.
I'll just probably deal with it for the rest of my life.
What do you think John Elway would do?
He would just play the game with it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think I'm going to stop going to BJJ? No, I'm going.
No, because you.
Because what?
You're looking. I'm just not going to say it.
Okay, good.
I'm not doing that.
Can we talk
15,
football?
60.
I want to. You were one of the leading guests on that show doing the same thing.
Ticket innuendo. I don't know. I don't do the innuendo stuff. Go ahead.
Corby was great. Is great. All right, and so's Bob's term. The comment.
Corby hates your school and your program.
That's fine. I hate his school and his program.
Oh,
TCU
you?
and Oklahoma.